It's an emergency episode as Baylor just won its first 3 football games this season against Notre Dame, Texas A&M, and Ohio State, when possibly the best quarterback recruit in program history committed to the Bears. Bell Novosad joins Locked On Baylor.
You are Locked On Baylor, your daily podcast on the Baylor Bears, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome into a special Tuesday edition of Locked On Baylor. I am Drake Toll alongside Baylor's newest, oldest commit in the class of 2023 in football, Bell Novosad. Austin, congratulations on your recommitment to Baylor. And look, it makes sense that when Ohio State, Notre Dame, Texas A&M, all these schools call, you've got to pick up the phone, right? That these are the premier programs in America, but you in the end chose the Little Baptist School in Waco. Why did you stick with Baylor even through these massive offers?
Yeah, I mean, I think several things. I think, the coaching staff, the offense that Coach Grimes runs, and also, just the academics. I mean, getting a degree from Baylor is going to set you up for success after football, and I think that was a big thing for me too. So I think, those 3 things combined, I think, just made Baylor home for me.
Austin, through the process, obviously Shawn Bell was really close with you. I know he went to Dripping Springs multiple times and you guys had talked. How pivotal was he in this decision, and how much of yourself do you see in Shawn Bell and kind of his story coming from small town high school to premier quarterback at Baylor?
Yeah, I mean, I think, we've had the relationship for a little over a year now, and I think, it's grown every week, and I think just actually this past weekend, just getting to actually work out with him at the camp and, kind of get coached by him, I think just showed that, it was a good fit for me. I think he's like family, he knows a lot about my personal life and, keeps up with me. And so I think, just this past weekend really showed me why I fit him, in the Baylor program. And so it was good.
Talk about that, getting to play in Waco on Baylor's campus. You're in the indoor facility, you're throwing to guys and being around guys who are within the Baylor program. Was that kind of the last domino to fall for you to decide that Baylor was going to be home?
It was almost like icing on the cake, just getting around the coaches again, the commits, at the barbecue, all that I think just showed me and made me feel more confident and ready to pull the trigger this past week or whatever weekend, Saturday that was. So
Austin, I want to get into a little bit of the recruiting process with the calls that you got and even Elite 11 and how that sparked you as a recruit. But first, talking about loyalty, I'm just going to pitch that to you. What does the word loyalty mean to you?
Yeah, I think just being loyal to the people that you're around, and I think that to me that just means showing people you trust them and they have trust for you, being open with people. And that's kind of what that means to me. But
on that note and being loyal to Baylor and being loyal to Waco and this entire deal, did you feel as though when you first committed that you'd kind of given your word there and that was something you wanted to stick to in the end from the jump?
Yeah, I mean, I think I was committed and then never really decommitted just because Baylor was always in it. I always loved Baylor. And so I think that's the reason I didn't decommit because I knew that it was a good place. And, you got a lot of people telling you this and that, but I think, I just kept my head down, went to the schools I needed to see and made the right decision, I think. So I'm excited.
I mean, you've worked your way into one of the top 10 quarterbacks in this class. And now with that, the appeal of Baylor, what was it about Baylor, even still coming on campus this last week? Was it the coaches, the facilities, the NIL opportunities that made you think, all right, I know I'm getting these huge offers from these big name schools, but Baylor is still it for me? What was the difference?
It's hard to explain, but when you get on campus, it's just the feel that you get, when you're around the coaches, when you're around the players, just the whole staff. When you get around them, you feel like you're at home. And I think that, playing football there is just going to be comfortable for me. And I think it's a place that I can be successful. So it was a little bit of everything, but it was the right place for me.
Austin, to get into your last like 6 months, there was when we first had you on the show, I think it was 6 months ago. I think you had offers from maybe 3 or 4 Power 5 schools, if that. And then it was like Stanford calls, and you think, oh, there comes that. And then next thing you know, Ohio State, Texas A&M, Notre Dame. What have the last few months of recruitment been like for you when these big names have called you? It feels like that's an honor in itself.
It definitely was getting to, talk to these coaches and guys that, might be in the NFL one day. These coaches are the best of the best. The programs are the best of the best, top 5 teams in the nation. Recruiting you is definitely an honor. And I think just the whole process was, exciting because not many people get to do it. So, I went through it, and I'm excited to, be committed now and get to talk to those coaches along the way, though.
Elite 11 as well, getting to go and kind of match yourself for, size yourself up to other quarterbacks across this class. What did you learn in that process? And did it show you that, man, there's a lot of great quarterback talent out there? I don't know if I fit that level, or do you feel like you fit right there with the top 5, 10 guys?
Yeah, I mean, that's the best of the best. The top 20 in the nation go out there and compete. And, you build a relationship with those guys and kind of talk to the guys that you're going to play your whole college career, maybe one day in the NFL. But that class, our class, the 23 class is, elite. And I think just going out there and competing with them, kind of showed me that, I'm up there with them. And I think that, I'm at the top of the class with those elite guys.
When you've got names like Arch Manning in this quarterback group, or Ia Malieva, I got that.
Yeah.
Did you see me?
Yeah.
You see that right there? When you have guys with those names that are in the same class as you, and to get to be like, I was looking at rankings yesterday, and it's like your name is right there with those names, and those guys are on ESPN every other day. Is there something to be said about that for you to be right there next to the last name Manning?
Yeah, I mean, I think that, he's a good player. They're all great players, at the top. I mean, I've seen most of them. And, I think that if I just keep on working, I can get to where I want to be. And I think that, at the end of the day, rankings, are cool, but I don't think that, it's not football, right? I mean, you got to go out there and play the game. So it's cool and all, but I think if you just keep on working, I can be the best that I want to be. So.
Look, you didn't say this. I'm going to make it very clear. I said this, but Texas, they lead the rankings every year in recruiting, and perennial 5-7, 7-5. You didn't say that. I said that, but you're right. Rankings don't always matter in recruiting. And that to me is, again, seeing your name next to those guys and right up there. What's also cool to me, dude, I don't know if you get this. I talked to John Garcia Jr., director of Sports Illustrated recruiting, and John had mentioned you from Dripping Springs. Like, when's the last time a top 5, top 10 quarterback came out of Dripping Springs High School? It feels kind of like this smaller town underdog story of a guy that comes from, you're playing alongside Arch Manning, who's at, off playing the biggest high schools in America. So is that something that you carry with you in itself? Like, Dripping Springs to you, is there a lot of pride to have come from a school that's not known for having top prospect quarterbacks and to put them on the map like that?
Yeah, I think we definitely got Dripping Springs on the radar. And I think, the guys are starting to see, and I think it's built confidence on our team, because we're not the most talented team, but, we get a lot of wins, and I think we do a lot with the guys that we have out there. So going into this big district, playing Westlake, Lake Travis, it's going to be tough, but I think we're gonna be good. And I think colleges have now, seen who Dripping Springs is now, and get out there and check out some of the guys we got for sure.
Take that, there's like Allen High School, right? Or Westlake. There's all these schools, that people put on this pedestal, and then it's, to me, and I want to see if you see it too. It's like Baylor and then your Ohio State, Texas A&M, right? People view that on 2 different levels. So did you see any similarities there between where you play high school ball and that underdog mentality, and then in Baylor as well?
Yeah, I think a lot of people kind of see Baylor as an underdog like Dripping Springs. And I think that, I think I've proved out at Dripping that, you can still be successful coming from one of those programs. And, I think dripping, we've definitely had a lot more success than, maybe in the past. And so I think we can do the same at Baylor. It's already headed in a good direction too, coming off this past season at Baylor. And so, getting in there, we can definitely, keep that program rolling and be successful too.
I like I was having some conversations with Shawn Bell and a couple guys in and around the staff about you and your progression into Baylor and how you have become like the ultimate recruiter. How in this process the last few weeks, when a guy commits to Baylor, first guy to retweet it, or if somebody's like on the fence in the top 5 that you've reached out to him, you're texting them, a lot of these guys. If now that you've made this commitment and locked it in 100%, do you feel like you as a recruiter will get even more staunch and just keep going after guys even harder?
Yeah, I mean, we're always trying to get the best in our class, and I think this class, is wrapping up, but I think, that we're going to probably finish in the top 25, and we have a stout class coming in, and we got to hang out with them at the barbecue and met some of the guys I haven't met yet, but we're always trying to get the best. So anytime, the coaches let me know that we're trying to get this guy, I'm going to reach out and, try to do the best I can to show him why Baylor's the place. So
Speaking of the best, so I've seen tweets and Facebook posts in the last 24 hours that have talked about how you will end up being the best could end up being very well, the best quarterback commit to ever come to Baylor. When you hear that, do you get like butterflies, chills, some kind of knot in your stomach? Does that mean something extra, or are those just kind of words that people are throwing out and you're just here to play football?
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty calm, and collected. I think that, it's just kind of words. I'm just going to go in there and do the best I can, learn from Coach Bell and run the offense Coach Grimes wants to run. And I think that, we're going to be really good in the next couple of years. So
that the thing that comes with that too, with being a really good quarterback prospect, is people start talking about money. And we've talked about it on this show too, and how there are a lot of recruits now who are saying, I'm going to go play somewhere. I mean, guys that transfer from LSU to Nebraska to make $1 million. How much does NIL and making money playing college football matter to you right now? Or is that something that's not quite on your radar?
Yeah, I mean, I think you got to play the NIL game just because other schools are doing it. I'm not big on it. I think that, it's good for the players once you're in college. I don't like the upfront money.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of gotten out of hand. But I think that, if you're there and you want to take advantage of it, I think it's a great opportunity. I think that some guys are doing it right and others are, it's kind of, like I said, getting out of hand. But,
yeah.
I think it's a good opportunity and look forward to, getting in the NIL once I get to Baylor. So.
Yeah, certainly you'll be able to pursue that, and early on pursuing a roster spot as well. Is that, before we wrap up, something that you looked at too? Guys on rosters, like you go to a school, we'll throw out a random school, Alabama, right? Let's say they have 8 guys that are in their quarterback room, which not true, but did you look at the number of guys in these different quarterback rooms throughout this process and see kind of your prospects for starting at Baylor?
Yeah, I think, one thing you're always going to take into consideration is just, can you even play? And that's the question you ask the coaches, like, is it a realistic opportunity? And, I think that Baylor's QB room is friendly, and I think that there's a chance that, it's going to be tough, but you can go in and compete. And, I think Coach Aranda has shown this year that he's going to play the best QB in the room. So, it was hard for him to do that, but I think, that's something that you want from a head coach is, play the best and also gave Gary a good opportunity to move on before it got too late, So I think I respect, Coach Aranda and his decision this year about the QB situation.
Oh, I'm going to stop everything right there and pop in here and tell you about Built Bar. In this episode's insane, right? Like, that's Austin Novosad, the guy that committed to Baylor. I don't really typically get starstruck on episodes, but and starstruck's the wrong word. I'm just happy. I'm really happy. You see right here, that shirt says Turnpike Troubadours. Turnpike Troubadours. If you're listening online, can't see it, but it says Turnpike Troubadours. They're a band they were a band, and then they broke up. They had a hiatus, and then they got back together and came back. Austin Novosad never broke up with Baylor, but I felt like it felt right to wear the Turnpike shirt because it was like, wow, what once was, and you're like, oh, well, will it be? And then There it is. Built Bar has these new, gosh, I've been talking about it. I'm going to keep talking about it. Cookie dough chunk puff, 100% real chocolate, 100% real chocolate, only 160 calories per bar too, 15 grams of protein as well. They're made with collagen protein. That's right. Collagen protein, college, which is where Austin Novosad is going. Baylor College, University. Your body absorbs very efficiently, by the way. It provides tons of health benefits. Eat something that tastes good and is good for you. The new cookie dough chunk puff at Built Bar, whether you need a snack for your workout, a late night treat, or want to grab a quick bite, Built is the perfect protein bar. Grab yourself a Built Bar. Go to Built.com. Use promo code LOCKED15, LOCKED15, all caps. Get 15% off your order. Use promo code LOCKED15 at Built.com. Back to Austin. Austin, to close it out, I've got some quick hitters that I'm happy. The last 24 hours, you've just made all of Baylor Nation happy. So thank you for doing that. The first one being, how many Saturdays this fall will you be in Waco, Texas?
I mean, as many as I can. We have film every Saturday, after our games, but, definitely the afternoon games or night games, any that I can get to, I'll be there.
When you hear the last name Bell, what do you think?
China Springs.
Darn straight, man. I like that answer very much. I'm just going to leave it there because I like that answer so much. Wish I had my ring. When it comes to folks out there who don't know who you are, I don't know what rock they would have been under, but if this is a Baylor fan's first time hearing an interview with you or seeing you as a person, what do people need to know about Austin Novosad first?
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm competitive, the most competitive person you'll meet. I think athletic and smart are kind of the three things I would say. Me and Coach Bell shoot this last weekend. We went out and played golf and, played cornhole just because we're so competitive. And actually that ended in a tie, but, we're going to finish that out. And I'll be the winner in that. So that'll be good.
Did you out golf him?
So I outdrove him, and then we played a hole 3 times, and he beat me 2-1. So that's how we tied.
What was this, like a 15-minute golf round?
It was like 30 minutes. We played. We can only go a mile off of campus, so we had to go to the Baylor practice course, and they got like one hole out there, but I outdrove him. That's all that matters,
Wow. Yeah, that's a dude. Top Golf. There's one of those in Waco. You've got it like. Yeah, you've been to George's.
Yep.
Yeah,
been to George's. Been to Top Golf. Been to Main Event. Been to Magnolia.
Yeah, you have. What'd you get there?
I don't know. It was a couple of years ago. I think we got like a little breakfast thing or something.
You didn't get a shirt. You didn't get a Magnolia shirt.
No, I did not get a Magnolia shirt.
Dude, you know how cool you'd be walking up and down the high school halls of Dripping Springs in a Chip and Joanna Gaines shirt?
Yeah, I mean, I might have to snag one next time I'm up in Waco.
You'll have to do that. Austin, thanks for jumping on today. And
yes, sir.
Dude, I don't even want to be done. What? the last, this is it. I promise this is the last question. I'm just having fun. The last 24 hours, just take me through them and then we'll quit.
Yeah, I mean, Saturday, went to bed and then kind of knew that I wanted to, make it final. And so then, yesterday, went through all the coaches and, let them know what decision I would make. A&M, Notre Dame, kind of let them know, and then talked to Coach Bell, and, the whole staff was excited early yesterday. And then knew I wanted to, post something yesterday night, and about 7:30 I had a bunch of friends over, all the football guys over and stuff. We swam and messed around at the house, ate wings and stuff, and then posted it like 7:30 last night. And so it was fun for sure.
I love it. Well, Austin, thanks for the third time for coming on today.
Yes, sir.
Great to have you as always. And for those listening at home, thanks for joining us on our Random Tuesday episode today. We'll see you again tomorrow, where Cam Stewart joins us and breaks down the top 12 toughest football games for Baylor football in the fall. Thanks again to Austin Novosad, and thank you for making Locked On Baylor your first listen every single day. Austin, is this your first interview, by the way, afterward?
Yes, sir.
Boom! You guys hear that? Very first exclusive interview with Austin Novosad post-commitment. I'm Drake Toll. That's a Baylor Bear. This has been Locked On Baylor.